Viewer note: this story is purely fictional and intended for entertainment purposes only. However, some content may be disturbing to certain audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Chapter 3: The Apocalypse. It was August 27th, 2026. If I had to sum up the vibe of the day in one sentence, the whole world felt like it had been shoved into some kind of information overload loop, and there was no way to escape. TVs, phones, even that busted speaker outside the corner convenience store, the giant TV wall at the diner down the road. They were all playing the same thing, on repeat. Live feeds from Hexagon Nation, interviews with so-called experts, grim-faced statements from government officials, blurry, low-res footage smuggled in from the border. The air itself felt off. Not like smoke or fire, but that weird, overheated, burnt-out feeling you get when your brain's been stuffed with too much, all at once. Too fast, too scary. The International Atomic Energy Agency had just raised the threat level to its highest alert. They said Hesperia's nuclear power plants were basically like kettles with holes in them. The cooling water was gone, and the reactor cores were now melting down in complete silence. Sounds like sci-fi jargon, right? But we all knew what that meant. Radiation levels were spiking, and no one could stop it. The moment that news dropped, it was like someone dropped an ice cube into a frying pan of hot oil. Boom! Panic exploded in government buildings around the globe. Blood pressure cuffs probably exploded too, metaphorically. Of course. Wanted to send in planes? As soon as they got close, they'd just drop out of the sky thud like they'd been hit by some invisible sledgehammer. Tried sending warships? Once they crossed into the affected waters, every electronic system went dead. Ships just floated there dead in the water like heaps of rusted junk. Tried sending people in on foot? Don't even joke about it. International health workers who did manage to get close enough to the border, risking their lives just to take a peek, came back with nothing useful. No clean water, just radiation dust on their clothes, and a whole new level of cold, deep down fear. Their reports? They sent chills down everyone's spine. Hexagon Nation wasn't just broken. It wasn't even a modern country anymore. Faucets wouldn't turn on. Lights wouldn't flicker. Food in refrigerators had rotted. Some of it was so bad, bugs were crawling out of it. But the scariest part? The people. Some observers reported finding bodies. And I mean, not normal bodies. Some of them were shrunken, vacuum-dried, skin stretched tight over bone. Their stomachs were sunken and empty. Their internal organs? Just gone. Vanished. No blood. No mess. Just missing. No one had any idea what the hell was going on. And the ones who were still alive? Even worse. Panic spread like wildfire, fast, hot, and out of control. What started as desperation for food and water quickly turned into paranoia, then violence. Streets turned into battlefields. Fists, metal pipes, broken chairs. Anything people could get their hands on became a weapon. Different skin color, different religion. That made you an easy target. Near the border with Olive Nation, things had completely fallen apart. Hesperia citizens, driven half-mad by hunger, started charging the border fences like animals. Some made it through. Some got tackled. Others just turned around and attacked each other. Whoever managed to break into Olive Nation territory. They flooded into nearby towns and villages like a burst dam, bringing chaos, fear, and even more refugees. Bread, water, medicine, please, anything. At a tiny grocery store near the border in Olive Nation, a chubby shopkeeper clung to his empty shelves, trembling as he stared out the window at a mob of people charging toward him, some swinging sticks, others holding kitchen knives like cavemen. He slapped the counter over and over, screaming, "Canned food! Somebody give me a freaking can! Right now, canned food's more important than my wife!" And the response from Olive Nation and pretty much every other neighboring country? Lock the gates, weld the borders shut. Soldiers and police lined up along the frontier, guns pointed outward. Layer after layer of barbed wire. Electric fences went up overnight. Anyone who tried to climb over met with tear gas, water cannons, and no mercy. Embassies around the world went into panic mode, flooding inboxes with evacuation warnings. At my house, a few neighbors had gathered near the window, listening to the latest radiation spread forecast on the radio. Their faces were grim, dark. One old man clutched his completely dead smartphone screen, black as a brick, his reflection dim and lost inside it. "My daughter," he muttered, voice barely audible over the news anchor's panicked voice. "She's still over there, in school." His words were swallowed up almost instantly by the next urgent update. And then, from somewhere near the edge of Hesperia's radiation zone, one of the border observation posts, a field observer was watching through high-powered binoculars, scanning the ruins. There was nothing but rubble, burned-out cars, scattered debris, signs of desperate escape. And then, without any warning at all, right in the middle of the wreckage, a blinding, searing light exploded into view, pure white. So bright it didn't look natural. Didn't look like an explosion or lightning or anything anyone could explain. It was like the world had been torn open from behind. The observer's throat tightened. He inhaled sharply, fingers shaking as he tried to adjust the focus on his scope. But before he could see anything clearly, the light vanished. Just like that. Gone. All that was left was a lingering afterimage burned into his vision, and a deep, bone-chilling cold that crawled up from the pit of his stomach and settled in his chest, like he'd just caught a glimpse of something he was never meant to see.